This is Hino's Sport, bringing you that heat and far. We keeping a foot on the whoop, next. We keeping a foot on the whoop, next. And like the Tibetan mastiff that I am, I'm applying what? Unlimited pressure. Because pressure does what? It bursts his pipes. Let's talk about it, man. The Charlo brothers are so, how should I say it, man? They're so misinterpreted. The Charlo brothers are so misconstrued. The Charlo brothers are so misunderstood to a level that it's not even funny, man. It's redunculous. And the reason why Hino Sport can tell you this is because when we look at Jermall and Jermell Charlo, we see greatness personification can only be hindered. The motherfucker can't be stopped. Let me say it again. Greatness personification can only be hindered. The motherfucker can't be stopped. The Charlo brothers have proven time and time again that they're willing to test themselves. They're willing to always be in shape. You guys can't name me not one time the Charlo brothers did not come into a fight with their physical wherewithals, their physical ingenuities, their physical abilities, their physical bodies not being intact. We know this to be true with cinnamon dust horchata of a, I don't know what you want to call him, Alvarez. His cinnamon dust horchata Alvarez fanboys, they always want to sit here and act like Canelo Alvarez has never come out of shape. Well, if that's the case, then why be Mr. Clean? Why use Clean Blue to roll? It's because your stamina is shit. See, Canelo Alvarez has come into fights where his stamina has been questioned. Obviously not of recent, but it's because more so he's fighting bum bashes. But we're talking about, there has been moments where Bernard Hopkins has challenged Canelo Alvarez and said that it's a shame, it's a apostasy. It's damn near boxing heresy for you to come into a fight and not have your shit together. When have you guys ever heard this about the Charlos? Performance is one thing. Talking about a fighter not performing the way that you're accustomed to them performing is one thing. But if you know boxing and you're not a boxing casual, then you understand that no two fighters are going to perform or have great nights every night. There's going to be off nights. There's going to be nights where the fighter's not going to look like the fighter should. In Jermell Charlo's instance, he was looking for the knockout against Tony Harrison. And in him looking for the knockout against Tony Harrison, he got reckless. But even in that fight, it's not like Tony Harrison definitively won that fight. Tony Harrison went tooth and nail with Jermell Charlo. And this is a Jermell Charlo that did not listen to the Derrick James game plan, to the script, that did not listen to the Derrick James game plan all the way through and line upon line and precept upon precept. What happened in the second fight? What has happened with Jermell Charlo since he's been listening to the game plan? Jermell Charlo's been performing at the highest levels. Jermell Charlo systematically dominated Tony Harrison, knocked his rabbit ass out like the venomous viper that he is, and then he struck in venomous viper fashion and peeled the banana called Jason Rosario. So we know that if Jermell Charlo listens to the game plan, Jermell Charlo's locked in. And now he's one belt away from being undisputed at the super welterweight division. So we got to give him credit. We have to sit here and say, as a junior middleweight, Jermell Charlo is doing his fucking thing. Jermall Charlo fought Sergey Derevyanchenko. Yes, he didn't get the knockout. But this is what happens in boxing when you step up to the competition. You're not going to get the knockouts. But it's about how you definitively perform. This is why Hino Sport laughs when we hear Rudy Poo and Plum Plum Brains, classic Dolce Troglodytes, ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric tell us, well, Earl the True Spence, he ain't knocking nobody out. Earl the True Spence need this person. Earl the True Spence need that person. It's bullshit and fuck shit. Because it tells you that these people are boxing casuals. They don't understand the sport of boxing. As you step up in the competition, knockouts are not going to be there. This is what Andre Ward, the great Andre Ward, was talking about when he says knockouts will not sustain you, when he was talking to the super duper hot job variation. Because you're going to have to beat up opponents in other ways. You're going to have to find other ways to win. Jermall Charlo did this, man. The uppercut found him all night, but so did the right hand lead. So did his athleticism. So did his explosion. Showcased how square and no special effects up and down Sergey Derevyanchenko is. I don't know what it is about these Ukraine, European style fighters, but they have no special effects up and down, meaning they're not athletic, they're not explosive. What you see is what you get. They're straight. So all you got to do is fight them east, west, north, south, east, west, and you will emphatically expose them. This was the same Sergey Derevyanchenko that went tooth and nail with Triple G, man. The same Sergey Derevyanchenko that was clearly robbed in the Triple G fight. But Jermall Charlo made quick work of him. Jermall Charlo patched his ass. Jermall Charlo dispatched his ass. And Jermall Charlo dismantled him. Single-handedly, one of his greatest feats. But you got all of these cinnamon dust horchata of Canelo Alvarez fanboys. You would think they would give the Charlos credit. No, they don't want to give the Charlos credit. See, the Charlos are in a damned if you do and a damned if you don't situation. They are what we would say the two most polarizing brothers in boxing. And the reason for that is because of the way that they are. They have bravado, they have swag, they run their mouths. These guys are what we call quintessential alpha males. They believe in themselves. They have the ultimate confidence in themselves. And iron sharpens iron when it comes to their brotherhood. Iron sharpens iron when it comes to their connection. Iron sharpens iron when it comes to their sibling rivalry. Their sibling rivalry is of such, their alpha males of such, that even they go at it. And people confuse that with them having issues with one another. You know, betas, they always looking for haterisms and trollisms. But no one wants to talk about the underlying truth, the underlying currents, and the underlying situation that's associated with why the Charlos are such polarizing individuals. And the reason why they are polarizing is because boxing fans are mediocre in the way that they see boxing. Boxing fans have a what we call mediocrity mindset. Boxing fans are beta at nature. Like Jay-Z said, 99% of these motherfuckers on the planet, they live in delusion. There's only 1% like a he knows the sport that's bringing you that heat and that far. And keeping the foot on the eggs. And keeping the foot on the eggs. And like the Tibetan master that he is, he's applying on immediate pressure. Because pressure does It bursts his pipe. Only a he knows the sport can showcase to you guys, along with any other person that falls under the remnant of the 1%, that can showcase to you guys what the alpha lifeline is all about, what iron sharpeneth iron is all about. And, you know, friend sharpeneth the countenance of his friend, right? And iron sharpeneth iron in every fashion, right? It's because it's only a remnant of us. The Charlos, they follow a remnant of individuals that have the ultimate belief in themselves, that have confidence, purpose, and an abundance mindset. And because they have that, these guys are able to will themselves to win, even when it's in a precarious situation. Jermall Charlo and Jermell Charlo never lost, definitively. No one beat them up in the ring. No one embarrassed them. We know this to be true with Canelo Alvarez. We got data on his ass with Floyd Money Mayweather. We got data on his ass with Arislandi Lara. But we don't have this data with Jermell Charlo. We don't have this data with Jermall Charlo. So you see, when we sit here and look at how polarizing the Charlo brothers are, it's because it speaks volumes to how the boxing community fan bases are reverse biased. Detractors and AKA panders. They don't understand the sport the way that they should understand the sport. They don't want to see unapologetic brothers be what they are, unapologetic. This bothers them. This boils them to the core. And if truth be told, because he knows the sport is the most full-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat telefashion artist, he's going to tell you, boxing is racist at its core, man. We see this to be true. They spit on these black BBC fighters. They talk about these black BBC fighters in whatever light that they want to talk about them. They don't give them the credit that they deserve. They don't tell you they're the best. Because if we're being honest with ourselves, if you're rocking with the best, you don't settle for the rest. Let me say it again. When you're rocking with the best, you don't settle for the rest. Well, the Charlos are the best respectively at 154 and 160. Earl the True Smith is the best at 147. Javante Tate Davis is the best at 130, 135, and now 140. And then when we sit here and look at the delineation, the golf, the separation, and the division, there was a time prior to Deontay Wilder taking the pay to lose against Tyson Fury where he was unquestionably, unequivocally, and without fail, the best heavyweight. They don't want to give PBC. This is not even a Jermell Charlo and a Jermall Charlo problem. It's a PBC issue, man. See, we got to call a spade a spade. We got to keep it real. We got to keep it a buck. We got to keep it 100. They don't like what PBC stands for. So hence, because they don't like what PBC stands for, they're not going to give PBC fighters the credit that they deserve. That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat true telefaction. When we sit here and look at Jermell Charlo and we look at Jermall Charlo, we see a fundamental problem. Not with them, but a fundamental problem with boxing fans. Because when you got a guy that's one belt away from being undisputed at 154 and you're questioning him, it's the things that make you say. When you got a guy that's called out cinnamon dust horchata of an Alvarez for years, and when I say years, I have to preface it for years, and then cinnamon dust horchata of an Alvarez fanboys have excuses left and right, it's a double things that make you say. So when it's all said and done, we have to ask ourselves in this most cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat fashion, what is that? That when it's all said and done, that the Charlo brothers are where it's at. And the Charlo brothers are polarized. But the Charlo brothers say what you want, they are skilled, they are hardworking, and they get the job done. What is their mantra? Lions only. I keeps the foot on the whoop, eggs. I keeps the foot on the whoop, eggs. When it's all said and done, unless you're a boxing casual, you have to fix your rabbit-ass mouth to give the Charlo brothers the just due and the credit that they deserve. This is He Knows the Sport. Check it out.
If you want smoke, it's free, but you can't smoke for free.